Nice.
We're back. We're finally
All
back.
right.
We're finally back. What if this is the lost episode? What if this is the one episode we never released to the public?
Ooh, that would be mean to our guest.
Yeah, the lost episode is Claire Callahan. We couldn't release it. It was
we're just like, no, we're not gonna share that one.
It was too much. So before Claire comes in, I have great questions. I have like 2 questions for her. Not great questions, but
okay, nice.
One thing I wanted to show you that's not gonna. Why would I bring it up? Is this? So it's a 1 gallon water bottle.
Yeah, it is.
And here it has the
nice.
times. It's like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, so I always know. It's about 10 a.m., so I'm still on track.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
where did you get that?
Amazon.
Sorry.
Amazon. No, yeah. So hold on. Let me change something in my audio settings, because there we go. That should be a little bit better.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, very good.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well.
Good. Well, look at that haircut.
With a haircut,
look
indeed.
At the haircut.
Art was back, so that was very exciting.
That's art's art.
Yeah. Who gets to decide the meaning of the art, though? Who gets to decide the meaning of Art My Barber?
We should change the thumbnail there to just a picture of Art.
Just a candid shot. Yeah. No, things are good. Mostly just working. Today's my day off.
Good. And you're spending it with us.
Hey. There's no better way to do that.
Amen.
Yes.
One man.
Yeah. No, things are good. As per usual, I have very little to report.
Good. That's why we need guests, because like nothing's happening.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, why don't you introduce our guest?
Okay, our guest is Claire Callahan. Should there be more to our introduction?
No, let's.
She's a friend of ours.
She's a friend of ours, and here she is. There she is. Is it nighttime where you are? What's going on?
Yeah, what is going on?
Such a dark room. I have to take my Zoom classes, but I don't want to take them at home because my Wi-Fi is spotty and I don't have a good desk. So I have to find a room in the library, but they're all kind of sketchy and closed. So I found a weird one that's in a weird floor. So that's where I am.
Okay, well, Claire, reporting from an unreported room in a place in Dartmouth. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm just reading a book about a boy in the wilderness for my wilderness English class.
We know about boys. If there's one thing,
not wilderness, but the boys part of it. Yeah,
the opposite of wilderness. We're both in very much metro areas. Let's act like you don't know us at all. How about that? Let's do that. How are you?
That'll be good because we just announced it to the audience. Yeah, how are you?
I think I just answered that about the wilderness. Other than that,
oh my God,
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here. My friends are doing good. Restrictions are lifted mostly. I wish my classes were more in person, but that's okay. I just had some yummy Collis eggs and potatoes. That's one of our.
Did you say Collis?
Collis is the place. Anyway, it's just eggs, potatoes, some veggies, and it's delicious.
Nice. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, so here was my question. What?
No, that's funny. That's funny. It's just sometimes you're funny. It's okay.
So here's my question.
Water bottle.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
What are you talking about? This is a normal size water bottle. I'm just very small.
Yeah, David's just tiny, and it's a normal water bottle. So here, I was thinking about this before because you just finished up a gap year, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Throughout the COVID times, and I think we hear a lot about like gap years between high school and the beginning of college, or between college and grad school. This was like smack dab in the middle of undergrad.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience.
Okay. I would say that I think it was a very different experience than it would have been if I took it after high school, because I felt like more of an adult who kind of knew what I wanted to do and stuff. I feel like a gap year after high school, I wouldn't really, not that my gap year was like that interesting or amazing. It was like nothing really, but I felt like I weirdly did a lot of like growing, and I feel like a different person, not in a weird way, but just like a, more evolved person than I was a year ago. Just because I think taking a break from college in the middle of college, when you already have kind of 2 years of college development under your wing is kind of interesting. I think that it kind of gives you space to like think about what you want to do and stuff. So downside is now I feel a little bit sketchy here. I feel like older than people. And I'm kind of worried about feeling like in my super senior year or whatever, I wonder how I'm going to feel still being in the college scene. So maybe I'll just kind of be low key and work on my thesis and kind of be like a grad student vibe. I'm not sure. Those are my initial thoughts.
Oh, there's Claire Callahan. You're just like, writing your thesis all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Can we give, for our audience that doesn't know you, which is probably 0 people, can you please just give us the Claire Callahan story?
Okay.
Who are you? Where
Let's say like 2 minutes. Just
yeah. 45 minutes now.
Okay. The Claire Callahan story. Oh, some kid is trying to get my room. Get out.
End of the story.
It's us.
Yeah, that's Claire.
Okay. Lived in the same place my whole life where these boys are from. Same house, very close with my fam. Best friend is my sister. Just like very normal, good childhood. Did soccer, piano, band, quit soccer, not athletic anymore. Loved band with these people again.
Made a huge scene about quitting soccer. I remember that. It
Me?
was like a huge story. You like kicked the coach. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I punched him in the face after my last game and I said, I'm out. Yeah. The best player you ever had. So, okay, yeah, loved band. That was very exciting. I feel like that is kind of showed a big part of my personality of, being excited to be on a team and such. And then went to college. In college, I mostly like to, I don't know, just hang out with my friends. My friends are all like, here are all the things I do, and I don't really do all of those things. I kind of just like hanging out. I like being alone too. I love classes a lot, writing, reading, discussing. My favorite thing to do this summer is just hang out. We have a baller porch. It's the best porch ever. And I just like to camp out there because you people watch and then all your housemates come in and out and you work and you talk and it's just so nice. And I feel like that's kind of representative of me.
Isn't that a TikToker?
What?
Isn't that a TikToker? Baller porch.
Bella Porch. Oh my god.
Oh, Bella Porch.
That is not my intention. It's nothing like her. No offense, Bella. If you're watching, you probably are.
She is.
Clearly.
Yeah. And then,
Baller
okay, last thing in the future, I would like to do writing stuff like nonfiction, long form articles, like find an interesting person or place and talk about them. That kind of thing. So
kind of like Great Big Story, kind of, but like kind of like Great Big Story, but like writing, like National Geographic stuff.
Yeah. Like I would say kind of like Harper's Bazaar, New Yorker, kind of like when they're like, what do small business owners like? That's a boring example. I was just thinking like the recent ones when they're like, let's take a deep dive into how COVID has affected small business owners. Like I like doing like researched, interviewed stories that are longer that you can include your own voice in, or like I traveled to the smallest town in America and here's what it was like that kind of stuff.
It's
like one square foot. It's just me. So I have a number of questions. I forget them. No, I I read so I think that's a cool idea, the long form journalism. I like that idea a lot. That's, I think, a lot of what we're missing today. A lot of, it's just about the headlines and, small business is down 90%, or no, that would be crazy. No, not 90%. But like a certain percent, and you're like, oh no, and then that's the end of the story. And I read a whole piece about like one of those sort of things about Boris Johnson recently. And I would like to add that his full name is Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson. So it's so great. So there was that. So I wanted to follow up real quick on your gap year. Because number one, I definitely agree. I think it would actually be really interesting to see how like if it was a more normalized thing, taking a semester or a year off in the middle of college, because I did the same thing, or kind of I took a semester off, and I had other stuff going on at the time, but certainly felt like I experienced a lot of growth and change, and that was awesome. So I get that a lot. I have another question. So you worked at the Emma Vet, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So that was very random. My mom, because my mom's in the dog scene, she knew the owner, and she knew that the owner was looking for more, they call them customer service representatives. It's mostly just a receptionist. And they were looking for that like once a week. And so like super easy, just one day. And it's like a long shift, like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., but just once a day or once a week. So I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. Like just, talking to people and stuff. And it was actually like way more kind of educational and fulfilling than I predicted. I don't totally know why, but I feel like it was so like exhilarating and fun to be getting all these calls and helping all these people, and like people would call about this question, and also people would come to the door, and I would have to like communicate with everyone and like organize the flow of the place and like figure out, and it was just so fun to have people like be helped by us. Sometimes people hated us and didn't have good experiences, but when the ones who did, like it was just very rewarding, and I also just loved seeing the pets, and I guess it also made me just think about like the value of having like kind, welcoming people in like every facet of life. Like you wouldn't think that your receptionist at your vet being nice is a very important thing to you, but it can make your day just like so much better. And like that was also like compounded by the fact that while I was working there, I had like a dentist appointment, and then I had to call back because I had forgotten to ask them this one question I had, and I called back, and she was like so rude to me, and like just like for no reason was like, well, I don't know, and like, it was so weird, and I was just like, that just made me so sad. Like, I'm just trying to learn about my health right now. Like, anyway, so I just liked being the person who was like the opposite of that, and like very affirming and everything. And it weirdly got like personal. Like I heard a lot of people's like personal stories, because if their pet wasn't doing well, they would be like having a breakdown and then tell me that their spouse just had surgery too, and they're just feeling like all this stuff. And so I would just be like talking to them. And like, you also got deep with like euthanasias. Like we'd always bring those in, and like you'd have to talk to them for a long time about like whether they wanted to like cremate and stuff like that. And so that kind of got deep. Anyway, it was just like a more expansive job than I predicted. And I actually, because I loved working at the front desk so much, I am gonna work, I think, at the front desk of this inn here, like this very fancy inn, which is funny. And I'm hoping that maybe some rich alum will, see me there and be like, "You've got it. Come work at my publishing
You've got
house."
moxie, kid.
You've got the X factor.
Yeah. Well, that's great, and
what a lovely explanation. I'm
yeah, no, absolutely. And one of the things. So I've been working at the Safeway. I'm working at Safeway.
Okay, tell me about that.
So it's fine. It's really safe. No, and it's no, it's good. And so this was the thing. that I wanted to ask you about, because number one, I feel the same way, that it's a very like simple job, but it's surprisingly enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the main reasons is just that I, especially when I'm like home in the summer and I don't have as much to do, I spend a lot of time, it's just me like in my own head thinking about me, and that's not great. And so now it's number one, I'm helping people getting groceries, and I am also just thinking about doing what somebody else is telling me to do, which is kind of a nice feeling. But this was the question that I had for you. And so whenever I've been talking to people about the job, and saying that this is what I'm doing, I have, just to be honest, I've been feeling like a little bit of embarrassment. And because I do feel like there's this sort of expectation sometimes that if you're, going into your senior year in college and you're majoring in like political science and all this sort of stuff, that you should be having like an internship on Capitol Hill,
right,
rather than working at the Safeway. And I'm like, here's the thing, I like what I'm doing right now. I'm helping people, making money. I shouldn't be embarrassed about this, but I still am to a degree. Did you at all feel that? I don't want to, project my own experience onto you, but
yeah, definitely. And I think mine was also more focused on the fact that I was doing this gap year and like not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is college. And I wasn't doing something super impressive to replace it. Because the other thing I was doing was this like essay tutoring stuff, which I love. And I actually do think that has helped me a lot, but like, it wasn't some big internship, big name, whatever. And I think that's so, especially like also at Dartmouth, we have these like this term thing where I know every college student does internships, but at Dartmouth it can be a little bit more pronounced because people take off terms. And so it's like a common question of like, oh, what are you doing during your off term? And it's always like, oh, I got this internship at McKinsey or whatever the big consulting thing is. And so that was very much not my experience. But also though, like, I feel that less now because I've realized that I do believe very strongly that like the EMAVET job and just like having a normal people job is so helpful to your life in so many ways. I think if you like never have a job like that or have very limited experience with jobs like that, which I kind of did before, like in high school, I the only real job I had was like a camp counselor and then like a cashier for like a month at a time just during the holiday season. So I didn't have this like job throughout high school. But I feel like it opens your world a lot and makes you like a more practical thinker. I feel like there's only so much you can do at like a impressive job at a desk when you don't really understand like day-to-day workings of people on the move. I don't know if that's like a accurate like hypothesis or whatever, but I just feel like talking to people all the time at EMAVET and dealing with the flow of business and reporting to superiors and figuring out like solutions to problems we're having. Like I'm going to think about that in all of my future positions. And I think that that's exactly the same with Safeway, like just interacting with people all the time, doing what you're supposed to be doing, seeing like a huge range of people come by you every day. It just opens your world a lot. And I think it makes you like a more well-rounded like candidate for like real career positions or whatever.
And you're going to need those people skills when you're writing articles like 90% of small businesses down.
Where are all of the small businesses? I can't find them.
It's just 12 pages of.
It's like I'm looking everywhere.
Can I ask a question? I would just, or you can, Claire. So your mother.
End of question.
Their preferred guest for this show.
Yeah. I called Claire and it was like, listen, your mom was the first choice. But so yes, your mother is very much, as of late, with her different canine enterprises,
nice.
sort of sort of a small businesswoman in herself, more pull up by the bootstraps.
One of the 10% left.
One of the
so
10, yeah.
good on her.
Good on her. And your dad seems like more of a career man. He's obviously not like a career man where he's lived and he's been in the same job for 45 years, right? He's jumped around, as we know, but he's much more of the corporate type of more than your mother. So with those two sorts of, like, my parents are very much academics, PhDs, went and got jobs, right? Very similar. Henry's parents are similar, I guess.
I don't really know. I was thinking about that. I don't know how to describe them. They just they work.
They work. Yeah. I was it's just like the dichotomy between small business mother and sort of corporate hard ass dad, you know what I mean? How do you think that's impacted your view of getting a job? Because you seem like much more of the type of, more like your mom, in that you're like going to make it on maybe like writing your own articles, getting stuff more freelance. But I know I can see your dad in you. I'm not, there's some qualities there.
Yeah, I actually do have a lot of thoughts on this. So, I would say that I'm actually more, so like my interests are more like my mom's, but what I think my life is going to look like, I think is more like my dad's, just because I actually love the idea of like a 9-to-5 office job. Like I get excited about that, like getting my outfit and getting my coffee and seeing everyone, and my desk is cute, you know, like I know that's all very like shallow things, but it makes me like the office. What my mom does is more intimidating to me, of like having my own thing. I don't really know if I want to be my own boss. That sounds very like MLM of me, but like just like
wait, sorry, what's
level
MLM?
Marketing.
Oh, gotcha.
Like pyramid schemes. You know, they're like, hey girly, you want to be your own boss? You know? Anyway, I like, that's scary to me. Like, I don't think I would want to freelance. Like if I wanted to write fiction, it would make me a little nervous to be like, okay, here I am at my house writing my book. Then I'm going to sell the book, make money off of that, and then have another period where I can just write books. Like I like a steady 9-to-5. And that's what like I'm hoping to do with just writing articles. Like I'm not going to be the, you know, head of this magazine. I'm just going to be a writer for it, you know? And like maybe one day I would climb the ladder, but I'd be very much like climbing the ladder, not starting my own thing. But a big thing that has like inspired me.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's happening.
Oh no.
After she kind of reared her children, you know, like, and she, oh, it says my internet connection is unstable. Can you guys hear me?
It's all good.
You cut out for a second.
Oh, okay.
We understand what you're saying.
Okay, amazing. But yeah, it's just like, obviously she's always been like very like intelligent and qualified, and like she had like all this writing experience, but she wanted to like be home with us a lot of the time, but then she like started this all after we were like mostly like grown, you know, which is just cool. And I like that idea, because I think a lot of times people are like, what do you want to be when you're older, and don't really think about how you can totally change and switch careers late in life. And so that makes me excited, because I have a lot of different interests. And even though like what I told you is like kind of my primary one, there are other things that I'd definitely be interested in doing. And I feel like life is long and you have time to kind of hop between things, which is what my dad has done as well. So that's my answer to that.
Lovely.
It's a good answer.
Thank you. Thank you. Why are there ants on this table right now? Okay.
It's a prank by the Boonch Boys.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, did you? I don't know what I was going to say. David, did you have anything to say?
Yes. There are a couple of fictional characters named Claire Callahan. Do you know of
Are you serious?
either of the two?
Really?
Oh, that's
I'm looking them
interesting.
up.
I feel like I've looked up my name.
I have them looked up. Don't
Oh,
worry.
you have them? Oh, I'm so excited.
Don't worry. Okay. So I looked up Claire Callahan. Oh, we want to go over the Callahand name meeting in a second.
Oh,
Your
nice.
thoughts on that?
You got some stuff here.
I literally did this 3 seconds before we started. So there's a book series by P.H. Turner, which Claire Callahan is the lead detective. So
Wow.
this one says a puzzling series of murders collides with a messy big money divorce in this taut, vivid mystery set in the dramatic mountains of the Southwest. So one of them's detective. And then the other one seems to be a villain on a show called Haven.
Whoa.
Wait, John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. Did you see that ad? That was scary.
Yeah,
Which
that
one?
was annoying.
It was like a
Hold on.
pop-up.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
on the side. It's all good. Sorry.
It's based on my search history, so I'm sure it's
Claire
fine.
Callahan is a psychiatrist. Oh.
And recurring character on season 3 of Sci-Fi's Haven.
I
So
turned villainous. I love that phrase.
psychiatrist turned villainous. So you haven't heard of either of these people?
I have not.
Interesting. So a detective and a psychiatrist, very much this is very much related to the upper, like the jobs that we're talking about. They're clearly maybe not world class, but high in their industry, professional women. And I think that that's very interesting because you sort of are starting to portray those, like with the whole writing thing. Like I can see you in maybe 10 years being a very esteemed writer. What do you think it is about the name Claire Callahan that draws people to the idea of sort of a powerful woman?
Oh, I do think the alliteration is powerful. And I think the syllables are good too. I think it's like simple, like one syllable, and then like bam, it's like I feel like it's memorable, it goes together. But I don't think anyone really thinks that when they see the name Claire Callahan, but it is interesting that it's the name of these women.
Well, that's a beautiful response, and I would love to hear from any of our people watching if they have either read the books by P.H. Turner or have seen Sci-Fi's Haven. But related to that, the Callahand name comes from Ireland, from the 10th century king of Munster, that was originally Callaghan, or whatever this is.
Callaghan.
And it could possibly come from Callach, which means strife.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
How do you think that relates to you at all?
Not my own life. I've had a very privileged, easy life. I would like to say our last name used to be Callahan with a G, and it was actually Callahan, and they dropped it when they came over. I think I would have to check on that, but I think that's what.
When they came over to your house.
Yeah.
Let's drop it.
I mean, I think that my ancestors experienced some strife. There's a lot of big families in my family, lots of mouths to feed. But I would say I haven't really done a deep dive into the lives of my ancestors. So I assume they experienced the potato famine. So that's
possibly. Who knows?
Who's to say? My mom could do a deep dive on your ancestry if you wanted. Just say the word.
Okay.
So I wanna follow up because I think that's actually when you were talking about like the syllables in your name. I think that's a really cool thing. And I remember when this is the opposite of how, because you have 1 and then 3. I remember when my cousin was being born in like 2012, and my aunt and uncle were trying to decide a name for him, and their last name is Fritz. So you got 1 syllable there. It's a strong syllable, and they were thinking about naming him Jameson. And well, number 1, super Irish, but also it like that 3 and 1 I think is really cool, and it's like a Jameson Fritz. Like if you think about sort of the it's like triplets into a downbeat. Like it sort of makes sense.
And it's kind of like an arrival too. And I think that's more powerful than Claire Callahan. I think actually 3 and then 1. That sounds like an author right there, like Jameson Fritz, like by Jameson Fritz. Yeah.
P.H. Turner, Jameson
by Claire
Fritz.
Callahan. I mean, you could.
That sounds good. It sounds good. Wow, it's making me insecure. Oh no, I need a pen name now.
Maybe you should change your name to Claire Calla, which is your first name.
Yeah,
and then
Claire Callahan.
And then Han.
Claire Callahan.
Yeah.
Or just Callahan is my first name and then Claire is my last name.
Ooh, that would be cool. Callahan,
or just
Claire.
How about no name? By
Anonymous.
And then that's it.
Yeah. Anonymous Claire.
Ooh,
That kind of
that's
sounds like,
good.
you know how in Google
That's
Docs
true.
it'll be like funky spiders on the document.
That's true. That's good. Yeah. God, your water bottle is so big, dude.
So big.
It's all right.
It's like
Don't
the
worry about it.
size of like a 3-year-old's torso.
Look, we
Do
all
you
get
take
we
that
all get
places?
jealous. We all get jealous. No, I just bought this just arrived yesterday.
Oh, was it really exciting to unbox?
I know, yeah. I was
How big was that box?
it was as big as this.
Hopefully.
It was actually it was just as big. But yeah, I didn't think it was going to be this big. So it is going to be impractical taking this places, but I got
It
it
can be your
because-
home water bottle. You don't have to refill it.
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was at the TSA coming back from Indiana. I
Oh
know
yeah, we haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah, we're sort of off of you, Claire. So
Okay, no problem. I'm done. That was it.
I was coming back from Indiana, and the TSA, I had a little bit of water in my water bottle. They stopped my bag. They took it out of the carousel or whatever. They brought it over, and the guy was like, "This is your water bottle. This is the problem." And it was literally like this much water. And
This is the problem.
And then he was like, "All right, you have two options. You can either go back through and do it all again by dumping the water outside, or you can do what's called a voluntary abandonment." And I was like, keep it. It's old and you're annoying me.
Voluntary abandonment. That's such a brutal phrase.
I
Yeah,
know.
you're just getting rid of a water bottle.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
here,
not- it's
here,
not
wait.
like child.
Yeah, yeah, that was the joke I was gonna make. I was like, wait,
sorry.
I have a kid here too.
Yeah.
They're like that's not
Is this a
fair.
package deal that I
Yeah, you'll also see my baby in there.
Yeah.
Guys, my sister was like targeted by airport security. Like, I think I'll let you know if this is incorrect, but I think I'm remembering it right, where she like went through security and it was like fine, but then she was sitting in the gate and she noticed these like big hulking guys kind of staring at her, and then eventually they came over and they were like, "You need to come with us and like bring your bag or whatever." And so she like went with them into this like small room, and then they like made her like unload all of her bag things, and they like weren't really telling her anything, but it kind of turned out that like they belatedly realized that something had set off the alarm or whatever, and they're like, "Unload it, blah, blah, blah." And then it turned out that the thing that had made them suspicious were those Talenti ice cream things where you can kind of reuse. So she had reused them for Tupperware, and it was rice and beans, and it was like her little airport snack, and they thought they were like bombs.
Oh my God. Wow.
You come with me.
Yeah.
Talenti. You will get stopped in airport security.
Yeah,
Talenti.
yeah. If you're looking to hang out with the TSA,
Right.
put some rice and beans in Talenti. Wow.
And Claire, let us know if you ever need to go. We're not going to hold you too long, but I still have more questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh boy.
You, through your youth, I think you went to maybe less schools than most people go to, or probably the exact same amount, where you went to Fort Hunt for elementary,
I'm
right?
so confused.
Yeah,
And then-
I went to 3 schools. I feel like that's normal unless you move.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you guys went to the smart people school.
But
I
Henry
went to 3 schools as well.
Yeah, okay, then maybe. All right. Then
Yeah, you're in the minority, David.
Yeah,
I guess
get
I'm in
out.
the
Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind then. But yeah, Fort Hunt, Charles Sandburg, and West Potomac. Which one did you find the best, and or which one did you feel like you grew the most in?
Ooh, good question. I honestly loved all of them. I had a great school experience. I would say Westpo probably for both answers, just because you're kind of like older and like you have more friends. Like unless you have a shitty high school experience, I feel like high school is kind of like when you grow the most, when you do the most stuff. Although I would say I'm very fond of Sandburg. Like those were freaking good times. And I think if I like were to choose to like live another day in one, I would choose Sandburg because I remember it less, but I know that I had such a good time. And like, that's when I kind of got together with like my best friends. And so yeah. But honestly, all of them are great. The reason I'm like not really mentioning Fort Hunt is just because it's like, when you're that young, it's just kind of like you're having a good time, but like I don't really have any like emotional thoughts about that period of my life. It was just like a good time. Yeah.
Just a vibe.
Yeah, just a vibe.
just vibing in 5th grade. Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember too much from elementary school, certainly, but I definitely don't have the same attachment to Sandberg. I mean, like I was fine. I didn't have any strife going on. I wasn't a Callahan. But you know, that was not, I think I had more the middle school experience I hear about, where it's like, you know, oh God, it's so bad. But you know, high school is fine. I don't remember where I was going with this. I'm just now answering the question myself, apparently. But I also think that, you know, the question of which school experience is best certainly has to do with, you know, how we are as people in each of those stages. And I remember just like looking back on, because again, I don't really remember too much from elementary school, but looking back on middle school and like the first 2 years probably of high school, I was like, I was not the best. And so, I mean, I think that's a common thing. Yeah. Like, I think, you know, nobody is like, I was awesome. I was
an awesome 14-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah. I was the best.
I was kicking ass and taking names at 13.
Exactly. Carl Sandburg didn't stand a chance against me. The poet Carl Sandburg. Anyway, again, I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah, no, I that's what I think. So, thoughts?
Yeah, no, definitely agree. I guess I feel like I think I was definitely like annoying, obviously, in middle school, but I wasn't that concerned about it because we were all just middle schoolers. It felt very like low stakes. We were all annoying, like it was nothing. Yeah. I would say that I'm more like self-conscious about my annoyingness, like first 2 years of high school, because at that point it's like you're older, you should be getting your shit together a little bit. So like, yeah, I would say when I think about high school, I'm like more thinking like junior and senior year. But you know, I try to push back against that because like, as long as you didn't do something horrible, like you're basically just like a kid, like a teen who is being stupid, and like you should have forgiveness for that. Like I definitely, I don't know. It just like holding on to like embarrassment or like shame is such an awful feeling. So I think as much as you can just kind of let go and be like, we were just kids, you know, it's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that probably Carl Sandburg was, I don't know. I don't know about, obviously, I think I grew the most in high school, and I probably enjoyed high school more. But in terms of like schooling, where I was the most excited about schooling, I sort of developed academic not nausea, I don't know, just like being like, this isn't like the most effective way that I learned personally, like the classroom system or whatever.
I like academic nausea. That makes sense. It's almost as good as voluntary abandonment.
Yes.
Voluntary nausea.
Voluntary nausea. Academic abandonment.
Ooh,
oh,
nice.
Careful now.
What's the word? Is that assonance? Is that what that is?
Isn't that a gap year?
Wait, what is
abandonment?
Isn't assonance
talk at the same time?
Oh, is assonance the double A, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
wait,
it's like alliteration.
I'm like I can't say anymore. I'm gonna lose my English degree. I don't know the vocab words.
Yeah,
right,
we have Dartmouth English department. Right
yeah. Hold on. Assonance.
Why is your room curved? Do you have like a special lens, David?
Yes, I have.
No, it's just a curvy room.
Yeah, it's like a Willy Wonka room.
Why do you have that?
I don't know. I got it for $50 and it's the way it was. I don't know. I think I can turn off the fisheye thing, but I
seriously?
Wait, bring your face closer. I want to see what it does to your face. That's good.
Look at your nose.
There it is.
Uh-huh.
So should I continue, or do you have an update on the assonance?
Oh, it was.
I think
was
we're
right.
done with the assonance.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, sort of later on, when you have to take harder classes that you don't envision yourself using much of, though it might be cool to learn. I feel like high school there was more of that, which makes middle school more of a like, yay, I can do this. It's like challenging enough, and it's like I'm having a good time. So I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying.
And then that sort of, I think it probably returns in college for most people, where it's like I'm good at this, and it's like it's fun to learn, and I'm doing it. So
well, I had a freak out about college classes the other day because I was like, I didn't like two of my classes, so I wanted to switch out of them and switch into different stuff. So I was like looking through the course catalog and everything. And I just think there were so many reasons I wouldn't consider classes, like too much science, too much math, like too much weird vocab that I don't know. And it kind of made me think like, oh my goodness, like I'm not well-rounded. Like I only like one type of thing. So that was a little bit worrying, but also not enough to really make me want to get better at any of those things. So whatever, it was just kind of like a weird night and now it's fine.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the Dartmouth system? Because you're on a different thing, and then also we want to hear what classes you're in for this quarter.
Yeah. Okay. So the Dartmouth like quarter like terms, whatever. The quarter system, I really love it. Basically, we have 4 terms a year, fall, winter, spring, summer. They're all 10 weeks, and you take 3 classes during those 10 weeks. Sometimes people take 4 and then they take 2, like depending, but generally everyone takes 3. And part of the reason they say they do that now is so that we can get more competitive internships, because people have to take like terms off. But instead of everyone taking summer off, you can take winter off and get like that weird internship that no one's competing for. So that's great. The real reason it started is when the college went co-ed and didn't have like enough beds for women, basically. And so they wanted to like cycle people in and out. So like each term there were fewer people on campus, but they don't really say that now, which makes sense. But I do think that the internship thing is valid. And I like it. The problem is that like, so everyone's here for freshman and senior year, but sophomore and junior year, like you could go a year without seeing your friends if you have like different schedules of like on and off, and like abroad and everything. So like that's a little bit tough, but in general, I really like it. And I feel like 3 classes is the perfect amount to like I wouldn't want to do like just one class for 4 weeks. Like some people do that, like Colorado College or whatever. That feels like too intense on one thing to me. And I like the like interdisciplinary nature of like having multiple classes. But 5 seems like what you guys do seems like just a lot to me. I'm sure like it's fine. But I don't know. I really like 3, and then you don't get too tired of them. I think a lot of our classes can be like pretty specific because it's only 10 weeks. Like you wouldn't want to study like 1 year of history for like 4 months, but for 10 weeks, it's like, okay. So anyway, I like it. And that's basically what it is. And then the classes I'm taking are Revolutions in the Atlantic, kind of focused on like the Haitian Revolution and like alternate voices in the Enlightenment period and stuff like that. And then Vox Clementis, which is like our motto. It means like a voice crying out in the wilderness. That's an English class, like about nature. That's like the wilderness reading I was just doing.
Wilderness, yeah.
And then my third one is Earth Science. It's like I keep saying that, natural disasters and catastrophes. I'm just taking that for my science distributive. That was the whole drama of like, I couldn't find a science class that was like easy enough for me to do that would still get me the distributive. So we'll see if this is too hard for me. We'll see. So those are my 3.
Very interesting. Distributives. That is, I'm guessing that's just like the general ed stuff.
Yeah, we just need 10 distributives. So it's like 2 sciences and like a quantitative class and like English classes and like a non-Western and like a Western and a culture and like a sociology. Like it's not just like an English class and math class. It's like these like qualities. So like, for example, like the mathy one is QDS, which is like quantitative data science. So for that, I took linguistics because that counted and I didn't want to take a math class. So like, and like for my other science distributive, I took biological anthropology, which is basically just like evolution. So again, like a very human-centered science. So I was just like, I try to fit them to like my abilities.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
It's a good way of doing that. I wanna follow up on a thing, because twice so far in our conversation, I've heard you say, the word should, and I've especially recently been very anti the word should. You're talking about, at some point in high school, you should be getting your shit together, that sort of thing, or in our discussion of the job expectations, that idea of, you should be doing, more of like an internship or a desk job or something like this. And this has been something recently where I've been against that. No, I don't know. I think that part of it can be good. I think, the expectations for growth, because you don't want someone not getting their shit together.
And I don't mean like you shouldn't have any problems. I just mean like you
Right.
should be more caring towards other people instead of just like
Right, exactly. And so I think that, especially during, growth in school and everything, like, yes, it's important to have those expectations that, you should be taking on some more responsibilities. You should be helping other people a little bit more. You should be a little bit more independent and all this sort of stuff. I think that's important. But again, when it gets to, I don't even know what different stage it would be, but just different sort of things, like, again, the expectation for different jobs and things like that. You were talking about your mom, starting this after you guys are, pretty much grown. And that idea, as we mentioned, your dad has, switched around in jobs a lot and has been successful in, various careers. And my dad he worked at the same place for like 25 years and now just finished his second year of teaching. So like he made a big change and is loving it and all this sort of stuff. And I do feel like that's getting to be a more normal occurrence, that people don't have the same job for the rest of their lives. And, especially people our age, it's going to be, you're going to have like 5 different jobs probably, and all this sort of, not at the same time, but throughout your life.
Never know.
No, that sounds
all
horrible.
about that strife.
For Claire, God. I think it's 3 jobs at the same time is perfect.
Exactly. For every 10 weeks.
Have 1 for 4
and then I
months.
switch every 10 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. That would be exhausting.
3 jobs for 10 weeks, and then you have an internship.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I guess just I've been just a little upset, not, actually, but, just a little more aware of some of those expectations, especially when you're not meeting them. I think it's very, you become very aware of the expectations, but also that they're just not, real or necessary for an actually like fulfilling life.
And everything is made up, and I think I've seen more like people kind of go the way of just after college, just like doing stuff they enjoy that gives them the means to like eat and live somewhere. Like, because I think a lot of like the expectation is that you like get started on your career. So like you get that entry level job in whatever you're doing, or ideally you get like a bigger job. But like a lot of people I know are just like, kind of want to travel, like kind of want to see nature. And so I'm like, to do that, I'm going to get this like trails upkeep job in Seattle, or I'm just going to waitress in Florida so that I could be near the beach. Like, and it's so weird that like they might feel embarrassed, like telling that to their relatives where they're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm earning money and I'm living in a place I like, and like, that's not enough, which is just kind of crazy. So yeah, definitely feel you on that.
That's been, I think we've talked about this a few times, David and me, that this idea that your job has to be your sort of identity or your vocation, your calling, all this sort of stuff. Whereas it really can just be a way to make money so that you can keep eating and have a house or a place to live. And that hopefully you have time outside of that job to be doing those other things that will make you, possibly more happier.
And I think that's the problem too, is that it's so hard to find a job that pays for you, that doesn't take up all your time. And that's why those things have to coincide, because if you're spending all your day doing something, you want it to be something you're passionate about. So that just turns into your job must be your passion. Otherwise, you're spending all your day doing this thing to get money, and then you have no time for your passion. So that's like a problem too.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem. I think that I'm having trouble this morning. I think that, where was I going?
You're doing great.
No, thanks. I appreciate the support. Yeah.
I know Claire might be very, look at her. She's like pressuring the hell out of us.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
wait, do you think I'm pressuring you?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. This is the most intense episode of the Boonch Boys. No, I don't know. Because okay, here it is. Nice. I got it. I found it.
Okay.
I was looking around, found it. Oh god, I lost it again.
Oh no.
It was so exciting. Sorry. Okay, no. So this is the thing, that how much of it can you sort of choose your own attitude about this? So because I have, for the past few years, dream job has been mail carrier.
Yes.
100% serious about this.
No, yeah, that seems amazing.
Yeah, no, because I get to walk around all day, which sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
I get to help people in some way. And I get to be outside for most of the day. I could probably like listen to music or podcasts, Boonch Boys, for a lot of the day. And so like that sounds so great. It's also like a simple-ish job where I feel like I could do it pretty well. And so I like that idea. But I also feel like there are things where you can choose to be more grateful for certain aspects of a job. You can choose to find the fulfillment, but also, like I certainly would not be, not that I'm qualified, but I don't think I would be nearly as happy doing like a geology sort of job. Like, I don't know. Like, again, like I said, I'm not qualified for that, but that doesn't sound like something where
Sorry, geologists everywhere. You can't have Henry Dramas.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm exclusive for the postal service. But yeah, no, I don't know. I guess I just think that it can be a matter of what you choose to focus on. But also there's to some extent, what you're doing does make a difference.
Yeah.
I didn't have a question there. I'm just
ideally we could like be able to afford things without afford basic things without like working all the time at something you don't want to do. But I feel like that's very rare to achieve. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Claire, I have one last question. I know we've taken up almost an hour of your time.
Have we actually?
But
a very quick one.
Sort of to bring it full circle to the gap year.
Mm-hmm.
You spent it with your family. You were not in Taiwan running a business or something. You were
unicycling while reading to lepers.
And you were, I mean, obviously you spent time with people like Sonia or whatever, like you were near friends, but you were much more detached from the friendship side. And now that you're sort of back in the friendship zone, did your sort of view and relationship with the role that family plays in your life change? And did the role that you had for friends in your life change at all?
Good question. Okay, well, starting with the friends thing, I would say nothing drastically changed because I've always been I've loved one group at a time, you know, like in high school, like our group was my like best friends, where I feel like other people in our group kind of had other groups, which was fine, but like I was just all about us mostly. And then in high school, in college, like I am mostly about like my best friend circle that I have now. And like I was, and in that group too, we have other people who are more like FaceTimey, which is kind of like a Dartmouth slang. I don't know if that's only Dartmouth, but like just like wanting to say hi to everyone and like be super social. And so I think that I was more FaceTimey before gap year, and then now I'm just kind of like not a lot of energy for small talk, not a lot of energy to like spend time with people. I'm not like thoroughly
to the chase.
Yeah.
No. And I'm a small talk fan. Like I want to know how people are doing and all that stuff. But like I'm not as wild about spending time with people who I'm not 100% enjoying myself with, because I have people who are. So like at home, I was only with my very favorite people, like my family and like Sonia and Juju, and you know, and like it felt totally fulfilling. Basically, I missed my college friends and like my college life, but like other than that, I was very fulfilled. And then here, I'm like seeing a bunch of people I like vaguely know, and I really like them as people, but like we're never gonna get to that place where we're best friends, like even if I enjoy saying hi to them. So I'm kind of like less interested in pursuing like I found myself kind of seeing people, and like a year ago I might be like, hey, you know, and this time I kind of just like let them pass. And like I don't know if that's a bummer or not, but I just kind of feel like I mostly know who I want to spend my time with and like who I really enjoy talking to. And I don't feel very motivated to go beyond that. So not in like a mean way. I hope that didn't come across as like mean, because I definitely like, and I love like running into people when I'm out and being like, oh my God, you look so good. Like, let's dance a little. But like, anyway, so that's kind of how I'm feeling.
Let's dance.
What did you say?
You know,
you look so good. Let's dance. That's what she said.
I feel like that's the best way to see acquaintances, when you're like out and you can just have like a fun time together and not
you
be
surprise them in the park and you're wearing rags.
Hey, let's dance.
Let's dance. Anyway, so and I would say family, like just nothing really changed because we've always been close, but like again, it was very nice, just like they're kind of my, you know, grounding group, and like, and I think who I'll always like return to. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds this might sound mean, but it's not. I promise it's not. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have that relationship with friends, especially the older you get. But to me, as you said that, it sounded like someone who's been hurt too many times by love or something like that.
Oh my God.
Where it's like, I used to want to talk to people and now I just let them walk by.
Well, that's very much
story.
not my motivation, but I can see the comparison.
Yeah.
It's more like the opposite. It's like, I have been so rewarded by love that it's like friend love, that I don't like, I know like the heights of my friendship potential, and I know who's not really going to meet it. And like, I know that I have enough of that. And so I'm just kind of like, you know,
once you've been to the mountaintop, the bottom of the mountain, not as good.
You don't talk.
Well, and that's also why like the very beginning of college was like very difficult, like socially for me, because like I loved my like friends in high school. Like I felt very like safe and happy with all of you guys, and like my girlies as well. And then in college, like I heard everyone say that like, oh my God, like these are like my college friends, like I never talk to my high school friends anymore. And I was like the opposite. Like I was calling Sonia and Juju all the time, and like I didn't find a group at all that I like really loved that much. And so that was like a weird time of like, I feel like I had a switched thing where like high school friends were like, and then college friends were, you know, but over the years we've gotten there with college, but yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I think that is part of the thing, that it some of it's just the time that you spend with people, and that because I've definitely I have like a few close friends in college, and I love them. And then there's a bunch of other people where it's like, I know these people, you know, cordially, but I don't really consider them like friends, and, you know, they're nice people, but also, you know, because I do have that feeling like that, like these people are nice. We're never going to be best friends. But maybe if I just spent more time with them, maybe we would.
And that's like the counter argument to everything I just said, is that I've definitely been like surprised by people before very much. So like I could totally be missing out on friends because I'm not saying like, hey, let's get breakfast, but I'm kind of okay with that. You can't make every friend you could possibly have,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think it's also like partially growing together, which is something that I think is fun. Like Henry and I have definitely influenced each other's humor.
Absolutely.
I started dating Amelia at the end of near the beginning of my freshman year, and it's like you almost grow together and therefore you like them more, where it's not like two fully formed adults like, hi, I'm fully formed Claire Callahan. It's like kind of different.
That's how I introduced myself.
Yeah, let's dance now.
I'm in my final form. Let's dance.
Yeah. I think that's obviously a very mature thing, and I think what makes a lot of great relationships great is that sense of growing together. So I like that.
Claire Callahan, you've been a wonderful guest.
Thank you. You've been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
This is so fun. I would come back anytime if you want me,
anytime.
Or I'll tell my mom.
We should have a Callahand reunion. That would be fun.
Totally.
We want to do we should do all of your family. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, the entire
extended
Callahan,
family.
Yeah, we'll get everyone coming in from Ireland.
Every descendant of King Callahand.
Yeah.
Just strive. But we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
And if we don't talk for a little bit, a good rest of when does the 10-week semester start? Tonight?
No, I've been in it for like a week. So we're in week 2 now.
Of 10.
It goes by very fast.
Very good.
Well, that's lovely.
Good
we wish you the best
weeks.
of luck. And please come back anytime. All right.
Indeed.
Bye-bye.
It was also really good to
have an
see you.
amazing thing here. Love you both.
Oh yeah, we haven't. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right.
Claire Callahan. Claire Callahan. Guest number 3. I mean, no, Philip was first, and Amelia was first.
Amelia was first, then Philip, then our dad, then Bud.
It seems like the natural progression.
Probably. Yeah.
Claire was inevitably going to be number 5.
So before we leave, I wanted to ask you about Indiana and in your time there.
Yeah, we saw you. You didn't wave.
What?
No, yeah.
I was here.
Yeah, and we didn't go to Bloomington.
No,
yeah, it was fine. I went for my stepdad's parents' 50th anniversary.
50?
I really like them.
That's great.
And yes, and the idea of them being married for 50 years, like they're kind of classic Hoosiers. Like they've lived in Evansville their whole life.
Dang.
They met in high school and they got married at 22.
Oh my gosh.
72. And it's like it's crazy to me that they stayed together so long and have been as happy as they have been doing that, which is like the modern view of marriage is more like you just got to keep finding the right one. Oh, they did something bad, do the next one. Oh, he's kind of loud, to find another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like you're constantly upgrading to a better phone, and therefore you're more dissatisfied with every new phone that you get. And I going and seeing them was very inspiring. But yeah, Indiana itself, I mean, it's Indiana. They're in
it's fine. Yeah.
They're like not even in, I mean, they're in Evansville proper, but like not even close to downtown. Like they're in the back of a 30-acre lot of woods that they bought.
That's so cool.
And so it was very rural and kind of a good shift of pace, right? Like I'm here in I really like the word proper, like Worcester proper. It's so
that is pretty cool.
That's it. No, but it's like this is obviously a metropolitan like sort of area where it's like a lot of people close together, and like out there it's a lot more space. It's more tranquil. It sort of reaffirms that I don't want to live in a place like that, but
Yeah.
But
Wait, a place like which one? Worcester proper?
No. I would want to live in a place like Worcester proper,
Okay.
not in a place like Evansville, Indiana.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was nice. It was kind of postmodern the way that we did the 50th anniversary. That's how my dad described it, which was very funny. Because the main thing was like, it was basically one afternoon and evening combined, like the whole party.
Okay.
And for like an hour and a half, we took pictures.
Whoa.
Then we did nothing. And then we went to basically an Olive Garden. And I was like, that's very interesting. Because usually you take pictures of a thing that's happening. But then pictures were taken and that was the event.
Yeah.
It was very
interesting.
Very interesting. It's not at all what I expected. And then Leah and I wrote a rap. It's fine. How are you?
That's fun. I'm great. I want to no, but I did want to follow up because I like what you said about, you know, marriage and that idea. And I think again, you know, the idea that there's sort of the one and all this sort of stuff, but if you just find someone that you're like basically compatible with and you like spending time with, like, yes, you know, there are going to be things probably that you're like, you know, this person isn't perfect.
At least one
thing that makes this person imperfect. But the idea is that you know, love that person enough to make that commitment that you're not just going to try and upgrade to the next model whenever you get a chance. And so I think that's good. And also I heard a joke the other day. It was like my wife and I have only ever had one fight and it's been our entire marriage. And I was like, that's fun. So it's like
a Moyle joke.
That's completely a Moyle joke.
He's just saying it while he's doing the press.
Yeah, they're like, what is happening?
I hate my wife.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it kind of relates to what you were saying about jobs, kind of, where it's like, you choose to find what you like and what you can focus on in a job. It's I don't know, it's this brand new concept called stoicism. I made it up.
I just thought of it yesterday.
There was a Reddit thread. I don't know. It seems interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, very fun. Greg's height really fits into that place. It makes sense because, like, in DC, he's like, you know,
interesting. He's a tall boy.
Being a tall boy, 6'4", he needs.
I didn't realize he's 6'4". Oh my gosh.
Room. He needs room.
Yeah.
Let's get Greg a room. No, yeah, it was very nice, but I'm very much happy to be back. This is going to be a fun summer here.
Very nice.
And then off to Siberia I go. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
I got an internship for the winter in Siberia.
For the wolves in Siberia.
Well, this was a lovely episode where I don't know when we're going to post this, either tomorrow or next week or never.
Yeah, could be the lost episode. Who knows?
I kind of don't want to release it just because that's hilarious.
That
we have a lost episode.
Yeah, this is way too early in our history here to have a lost episode. We're like maybe 20 episodes in.
I think what we should do is we should record a lost episode and then have it be like a part of our will. And then once we die, they watch the lost episode and we like keep talking about it and it's shrouded in mystery.
Yeah.
And then it's just us
still talking about one big cashew.
It's that time we watch Scrubs. So good.
Perfect.
All right.
Love it.
Well,
all right.
Let's say goodbye to the viewer.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed this. Claire Callahan was lovely.
Shout out to Claire Callahan.
Shout out to her family.
Indeed.
And yeah, we hope to have somebody else back soon.
Yeah.
Possibly Thomas.
The tank engine.
First time on the track.